So I went from 0 to 15K per month with my editing business, and this is my case study. So we're gonna go over everything that I did, everything that I messed up, everything that I did well. And the goal of this video is to really give you as much value as possible so you guys can actually learn a lot. So I recommend you to take notes because we're gonna really go over everything. The beautiful part about this story is that I've documented almost 95% of like the journey on this channel actually. And you can actually just go on my profile and you will see like all the videos from day one until day, I think 150, when I actually got to the result that I was looking for. So the story began in summer 2024 when I actually decided to start video editing. I don't even remember when I started, but it was just like a friend told me like, yo, why not trying video editing? Because I was in a position where like everything that I was doing was working a 9 to 5 and actually trying a business model. So I tried a lot of things, dropshipping, all these things like that were like trendy like in the past. And at some point, one of my friends told me like, yo, why not starting editing? And I gave it a try because I was really crazy. And one thing that you really want to make sure is that it took me 9 months and actually $10,000 to start editing, not to start editing directly, but like to found it. Because like I told you, like at summer 2024, I was already at 1 year of trying any business, different business model. So I started like my first business, my first entrepreneurship journey. I'll probably say in the end of summer 2020, the end of summer 2020, 2023, yeah. And from summer 2023 until summer 2024, I was trying different business model and I was actually trying to figure out like what was the best option for me. And even like in summer 2024, when I started editing, it was the first time that I started this business, like as a business, but I had like a few experience with editing because I had like a small YouTube channel before. So I started in summer 2024 and like everyone, you are broke when you start, you make no money from that. So my main goal was to actually master my skills in a point where I was confident and good enough to actually start getting clients. And the first 3 months from summer 2024 until 3 months after, I was able to actually get a decent level editing on CapCut, and I was posting a lot of content on Instagram and building my personal brand at the same time. And I think it was on December 2024 or November, something like that, I made my first 1,000 from editing, and it was from actually a client. A referrals from a friend actually. I think it was the same friend. Yeah, kind of. That friend actually boosted me. Yo, shout out to him, bro. And yeah, so it was like a referral from a friend, and actually we started to work from there. I don't think that it was on December. I think it was on November or like October, something like that. But it was my first like hyping client. But before that, I had like few clients at like 500, 200. It was like when you start, you're really stuck. But everything started to actually click when I decided to start my client acquisition journey in the beginning of this year, and it was like 9 months ago. And it was like 9 months. It's been already 9 months, and it's crazy for me because time was so fast because I was focused on doing something that I actually love, and I was just working honestly. And yeah, so when I started my client acquisition journey, it's the moment when I started to actually document my entire process. So like I told you in the beginning, you can just go on my profile, you will see like 150 videos of me documenting my days every single day, yeah, until I reach the goal. And honestly, I think it was like the best decision that I took to actually record everything. And it was really just because I was confident that I will make it. It was a dream for real, like from last year, because my goal for last year was to actually make 10 grand a month with editing or just with any business idea. But like, I kind of like failed it because it wasn't really, I was still trying, right? But when I started my client acquisition journey, which was like this year, in the beginning of the year, I think the first thing that I did was actually to figure out like a client acquisition system. So my goal was actually to find a system that I will always use, even if I lost all my clients or even if I stopped, I could like came back to the position where like I'm still getting clients and I'm still making money from it. So that was my goal. And that's also the reason why I documented everything, because I was like, not only like I'm confident that I'll make it, not only that I'm confident that it's gonna work, but actually let's record the whole process. And yeah, so I started by posting my first video like of like documenting my journey, and we started to actually try different things and different strategy. The first month was actually a good month. I think the first month I went from like 1,000 to like 7,000 per month, like in 7 days. Yeah, I remember like that part. And like the month after, I wasn't able to fulfill for all the work because it was through low ticket clients. So the first part of the strategy was like actually trying to scale with like low paying clients, because for me, or like for every editors, getting low ticket clients is like the fastest and the easiest way to actually get clients or to make money, because they are kind of like the one coming to you, like they are like, yo, I'm looking for an editors, like I have a budget of like $20 per video, like are you able to do that? And I was like, wait, if it's like the easiest way to get clients and to make money, why not trying to scale with it? But the thing is, like, I was trying to scale that like while being alone, and even if I didn't have like team and all these things, for me, I thought that it was possible. That's why I gave it a try. So for the first month of this year, actually, my goal was to kind of like scale with low paying client, and the result, I was able to close deals. I was able to make like a little bit of money, but the problem was that it wasn't like, how to say that, the volume of work was too much. And I think like on Instagram I was posting like stories of my schedule, and it was like video 1, video 3, 4, 5, because it was low paying clients. I didn't have to put too much effort into the videos, so that's why it was possible to edit like multiple videos. But when it comes to the volume, it was just too much and I couldn't handle that. So my income went from like 1,000 to 7,000, and like the month after, because it wasn't possible for me to like take care of the fulfillment for like all the clients, I had like, I don't even remember like how many videos, but it was just too much. And I decided to kind of like stop with like most of them, to actually just focus on the high paying client. And I think at that moment I was around like $2,000 per month, which was already great, but my goal was to actually hit 10K, right? So that was actually for the first month. It wasn't like a bad month directly, but it was like a okay month. We can say okay, yeah. And on the second month or the third month, something like that. Okay, I just want to make sure everything is clear. Like every month, I have like a clear goal of the month. I remember like the first month was to actually try to scale with low paying clients, but like the second month was to actually create like a strategy to get high paying client instead, because I actually tried to scale with like low paying client and didn't really, it wasn't the best option for me. So my system was always the same thing. So I was like reaching out, I was reaching out to a lot of people, but the first problem or like the first mistake that I was doing is that I didn't have a clear offer that I was actually offering. So I was offering editing, but it was just editing. So I was reaching out to different people, different person. It was just a mess. Like sometimes it was like online coaches, it was like business consultant. After that, it was like gamers. After that, it was like people with like a personal brand on like how to cook. So I was like trying to just get clients and actually just make as much money as possible, but I wasn't like, I didn't have the right strategy. And after like 3 months of doing outreach every single day, and my target, I've always been like 50 DMs every single day. Like you don't need more than 50 DMs, even if you're trying to scale, because when it comes to volume, you need to increase like your conversion rate. If, for example, you send 50 DMs a day and then you get like, let's say 5 reply, and you get like one book call or two, one or two, and you can close the deal, it's already like really great, because you can do that every single day. But like if, for example, it take you, let's say, like a week to get a client from that strategy of sending like 50 DMs a day, like it's not supposed to be something bad when you focus on high paying clients. So yeah, the first 3 months, I was focused on building that system to get high paying client after the first month of failing with scaling with low paying clients. So it took me a while and I was trying to figure out stuff, but even when I was trying, I was changing my strategy. I was always being consistent with the outreach. That's why I always told my like, the editors that I help, like always be consistent on the outreach, even if you're doing a lot of things, because you never know like what's gonna happen. And that's what I did. And I got the proof after 3 months of sending outreach, sending DMs every single day. And I think it was on March, yeah, March, something like that. And it's the point where I reached my first $5,000 per month. So when I reached my first $5,000 per month, you need to realize something. Going from like 1,000 to 2,000 to directly aiming for $10,000 was actually stopping me from getting to 10K. What I mean by that is that like there's level to that game. Like level one, I'll probably say it's like make your first 1,000. Level two is make your first 5,000, and level three, make your first $10,000, and then you can go like 15, 20, and then you scale until you're tired of this game. But me, I was like at 1,000, and I was trying to directly go to $10,000. And I think that's a mistake that a lot of editors do, is that they don't understand that there's like actually steps, and you cannot really skip steps, because if you try to skip steps, you will actually just increase the time that it was supposed to take you to actually hit your goal. If, for example, I have 1 month to make 10K, right? And I try to directly make 10K. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna try to make 10K. And every effort and every action that I take is to actually hit 10K. It's gonna take me more time to hit that goal in the month or in 3 months, versus like if I actually, let's say we start from like 1,000, I started to like scale to actually I started to scale from 1,000 to 5,000 first. Then after, when I reach 5,000, then I try to go to 10K, because when you go like that, it's faster. I know it sounds weird, because you're like, yo, I have like this standard that I want to make 10 grand, but like, why should I focus on 5K first to actually go to 10K? Because if you go like directly to 10K, it's gonna be harder, because there's like a lot of reason why, but the main reason why it's hard is because it's a big jump. It's like, let's say example, you're here and then you're trying to jump from here to here. Like maybe you have the ability to jump from here or here, right? But if, let's say, this is 1,000, here it's 5,000, and this is 10,000, if you try to jump from here and here, maybe you don't have enough resources to get there. Maybe you are lacking the experience, right? You don't have a clear calculation system. Maybe you don't have an offer. So there's a lot of things that you really need to figure out first before actually starting to scale there. That's why I always recommend to go from, like, really understand that there's steps, and you go from like step by step. So if you're doing 1,000, your next goal should be 5,000. If you're doing 5,000, your next goal should be 10,000. And if you're doing 10,000, 15, and you get the point. So yeah, I only understand that like the third month. And it actually, when I understand that, I was like, wait, I'm trying to make 10 grand a month and I'm kind of struggling. I know that I have the skills. I know that my skills were at that level, but like, I just can't get there. What's the problem? And then I started to think, and I told myself, wait, I haven't really made 5,000. It's like half of the, like, what I'm trying to accomplish. Like, am I good enough? And am I, do I have like enough to hit 5K? And I was like, yeah, I think so. Let's give it a try. And only after, like, okay, it took me 3 months to focus on, I want to make 10K, but I haven't really succeeded in 3 months, the first 3 months of this year. And the third month, I told myself, let's actually just make 5K. And I actually made 5K like the month, like in the month. So I was like, okay, in 1 month, I was able to make 5 grand. It was actually the first time that I made 5 grand with editing. And I remember it was, I think, on March. And the craziest part is like the way that it happened. You see, I was always consistent with DMs. I think I've missed like few days, of course, like everyone, but most of the time I was consistent with the DMs. But the way that I got my first 5,000 was really weird, because it was from a single deal. It wasn't like from low paying clients. Like I told you, my goal was to really build a strategy to help me get high paying clients, even if I had to stop, or even if I had to come back from editing after like a long break. So that's what I did. I was like really confident that it was possible, that a lot of low paying clients were actually started to reach out to me because I had like a brand. I think at that moment I had like 15K followers on Instagram, something like that. And yeah, so people were actually reaching out to me and offering me like low paying job, and I was like, no, I can't. I'm actually just working on something bigger and better than that. And that's like the level of commitment that you need. Like when you like are trying to accomplish a goal, example, making 5K, 10K, 15, 20, you really want to make sure that you focus on scaling the right way. And what I mean by scaling the right way is by always like having a high ticket offer. And by having a high ticket offer, even if it take you more time, when you get your client, you're already set because you always want to like have a client for like 3 months, but minimum, right? When you start, you want to have a contract for like 3 months. Like this, you kind of like set for the next month so you can try different things. But yeah, the way that it happened when I made my first 5,000, it was actually from a DM that I sent last year. So I started to actually work on client acquisition in December 2024. And from December 2024 until March 2025, I was consistent into the DMs. I was always sending my 50 DMs a day. That's like the standard, I would probably say. Like no matter like what level you are and no matter what you're trying to do, I'll always recommend you to always do 50 DMs a day. It's like only like an hour every single day, and it makes you get some feedback on your offer, on everything that you do, and it's actually just an easy way to get clients. But yeah, so I was consistent with outreach, and the way that it happened for my first 5,000, the guy was actually like, it was just like a DM that I sent like last year in December in 2024. And the guy replied, it was like, yo, I'm sorry, like I've missed it, I didn't saw the DM. And then we talked and everything, and I was like, yes, I still have this offer available. And actually I offered him like different packages because you always want to have different packages. So I think at that moment I had like a package at 1,000 a month, one at 2,000 a month, and the last one at 5,000 a month, 3 to 5,000, something like that. Yeah, but just I had different package, and then like I offered him like different package, and I was like, which one worked the best for you? And he was like, oh, I'm gonna take the biggest one, and it was like, I think it was at exactly 4K. And then since I still had about my client at like 1,000 a month, it was like 2 clients, and it was like, yeah, 5K like that. So one client at 5K, and then the other one at 1,000. So that's like how I made my first 5,000 just from a single client. And I think it was the best way for me to get there because I still had like offer for low paying clients. So I had the ability to get like 10 clients at 500, but it was just a lot of volume. And even if you think that, oh, it's not like that much work because there's less quality, it's just like when it comes to volume, you still have to think about it. There's still revision to do. There's still like, it's time, and you cannot really allow yourself to waste that time on low paying clients when you have the potential to actually get high paying clients because your skills work that. So yeah, I made my first 5,000, and actually when I realized that, I was like, okay, now I can understand that I've made my first 5,000. Now the next goal is to actually scale to 10K per month, which was the goal actually. But at that moment, I was really thinking about starting actually to teach other editors like about my acquisition system, because my goal was to actually build it, then after to teach it. Like that was my plan since I started like editing. Like I already knew that, okay, I will have to succeed with that business model. I will have to start teaching others how to do the same thing, and I'll have to scale that, have a great life, and then make a lot of money. That was already like my plan. And after like March, 2025, this year, I decided to actually focus more on understanding like what was the reason why like that guy paid me like crazy amount of money upfront, like 4K, 5K, like that. It's like, why this guy was able to pay me like that much? Well, like before I was struggling to get like people at 500. And then I was really trying to understand that, and I was trying to work on that to actually figure out like that client acquisition system. So I told you, right? Like a way to always get back to the level that you were before, even if you fail. Like let's say example, right now you're making 5K, and then you stop editing for like 3 months, and you come back, you still come back at your level, not especially with the same client, but like with maybe new client, because you still have the system, right? You know how to get there. And that's actually what I was trying to understand. And I was like, okay, shit, like it's just about that system to get clients, like what I actually did to get that client. And at that moment, I told you that I didn't had an offer when I started, but during the 3 months, I actually made an offer, but it was really bad because I'm gonna explain you why. My offer was only based on like of editing, right? Like I just had an offer for editing, like I offered video editing. I knew that it was still a good rate because I was charging like $100 per video, something like that. And I had just packages with like more videos and more, yeah, it was just that. So I didn't have any guarantee, I didn't have any clear offer when it comes to like clear outcome. Like example, I'm gonna get you, I'm gonna double your income, or I'm gonna double your engagement, something like that. That is like super clear. And yeah, so I still had an offer, but it was really trash. So that's another thing that you wanna understand, is that you really wanna have a good high ticket offer that solve a real business problem. because by having an offer that solves a real problem, a real business problem, like I said, business problem because you want to focus on business problem because business owners are the one who actually have the money to pay you like 5K up front, 10K up front. If you like make an offer for let's say 5K and then you try to sell that to like a cooking channel or like to a gaming channel, it's gonna be really hard because they don't need that much value. They just need like basic stuff. That's why you really want to focus on solving business problems. So yeah, after that I realized that I think when I made my first 5,000, my goal was actually to just understand that client acquisition process and client acquisition system to get me these type of clients again and again and again, which I did for the next month. And I think from March until like June, yeah, something like that, I was just focused on I want to understand my client acquisition system and actually how to get clients on demand. And what I was when I was working on that journey, on that part of the journey, so like from March until June, I was actually getting like leads coming to me, people actually reaching out to me. And since I already had an offer, first, before I actually explain that, I just want to understand that my personal brand play a lot of part in that actually inbound part because I was actually posting content, right? So the fact that I was posting content, I was sharing my expertise and I was actually sharing my skills, people were actually coming to me. I was like, yo, so an example of videos I was posting was like, yo, so like if you are a online coach, you want to get more, you want to save more time through like editing by saving or like by delegating like editing. I actually have like this and that, like this is how I can help you. If that's you, just reach out to me and then yeah, let's talk. And I actually did that like multiple times, but just the fact that people were actually coming to me to like, hey Paul, like what do you offer? What do you have for me? And the fact that I already had a high ticket offer, I was like, okay, so I can help you with this. It's 1,000. I can help you with this. It's 5,000. I can help you with this. It's 10,000. So by having your offer really structured, even if you reach out to people or they reach out to you, you already know like how to structure things to actually get them clients or to put them, to close them and then have actually clients because everything is already structured. So even if I wasn't like sending DMs, because sometimes I told you like I've missed it, I still had people like actually coming to me, reaching out to me to actually work because my work was, good, right? And the fact that I already had an offer, it was just easier for me to close deals because it was like, yo, I just have this offer, which one make more sense with your current situation? And where this, I was closing deals actually like directly on DMs. Most of the time, when I started, I was trying to like book calls and do all these things, but me personally, I don't close in calls. Like I just close in DMs. And the reason why I can do that is because I've like my content already built the trust and my content already share my expertise. So like when someone reach out to me, most of the time it's gonna be already be sold. And it's just about my offer, right? Even like today, I'm gonna explain you a little bit, but even today I still have people who come to me even if I don't really edit full time or I just don't edit right now. So yeah, after that I actually figured out like that system. So for me the system was kind of like a fusion between inbound and outbound. So basically I had the part with like outreach, but since my offer was getting better, my outreach was also getting better. I was increasing my reply rates, I was providing value up front. That was like on the outreach part. And on the inbound part, I also had like a content system that allowed me to actually get like inbound leads. Because the problem that I was doing with my content is that I was an editor and I was talking to my editors or like to editors. But the thing is like I wasn't offering any offer or any service for editors. So it didn't really make sense. It's like I'm an editor, I want to help like online coach save time, which was my offer. And then I was talking to editors like don't do that. And I think that's another mistake that actually editors do. They are video editors, they talk to editors on their content, but they don't offer anything for editors. Like they wanna like help maybe online coaches, business owner who have like a podcast. So the thing that you need to understand is like when you post content, the goal is to get leads. You of course you post content to share that you are good with editing for your skill set, but you don't want to just put everything like on your skill set. You really want to focus on solving business problem to make it worth the investment for the entrepreneur who are gonna pay you. That's why I made the switch. So instead of talking to video editors, I started to talk to my ICP from my offer that I had, which was like online coaches. And yes, of course, I got like less engagement. I had like less views, less comment, less like, but the people that I was talking to were like qualified people, and then they were like hyping client because that's what I was trying to like attract. And eventually it worked. I was able to like attract high-paying clients coming to me, and I was like just offering different packages, and I was working. And I was able to do it over and over and over and over until I got to the point where I was making like 15K. But the thing with editing, that's something that I want to make sure, is that I was still alone. So 15K wasn't like the prime of like the business, because like I told you, I don't edit anymore full time, or I just don't edit because I'm focused on teaching editors that system. But the thing is, like with the system that I was actually able to build, I was able to get like 5K clients, but it was limited because of my time. Like you see, as an editor, you only have, I mean, as a human being, you only have 24 hours every single day. So as a freelancer editor, the maximum that I was able to actually work on was like 15K, because I still like to have my fun, and like just not my fun, but like my time to actually work on other stuff or other parts of my business. Like I told you, I have like really crazy goals, like really crazy goals. And in order to get there, I really want, or I really need to work really, really hard. Not just on like hard work, but like just I need to work, right? When sometimes like I'm gonna build something, I'm gonna have to like it's a lot of time, right? And the maximum that I was able to do with the system, because I was alone, was 15K. But if example you watching this video, you have like a content agency, and then you have editors, you have like a team, you can take care of the fulfillment to a higher level. Like you can spam the system over and over and over and over again. The reason why I haven't done that is because for me, I like I found more like I like to teach. Yeah, I was the guy, like like in video games, for people who plays video games, I was like the guy who were always like really good at the game, and were like teaching his friend like how to become good too. So teaching was something that's always like, I don't know, like I always connect with teaching. Even like in school, like the teacher was explaining like something, and my friends weren't really understanding it, and I was like, yo, let me explain it to you in a way that you can actually understand. And I think that's something that that's something that really pushed me to actually teach others. It's because sometimes people have a lot of value, like they know like what you're talking about. It's just that the way that they explain it, it's in a way that it's really hard to understand. Let's say example, I want to teach you how to make 10K per month. I'm gonna watch, let's say, the coach A and the coach B. Like the coach A probably is making 10K. He's literally like, he forgot like what it looked like when you start, right? And when you explain things at this level, it's really hard to understand everything for a beginner, because, or just for that, no matter like what's the level. Like, example, if you're already making 10K and then you want to scale to 15K or even 20, like the guy at your desired outcome who's actually explaining you like how to get there, sometimes like they actually forget like what it looked like from the beginning, or like from your current stage, which is making 10K, or like no matter like where you are right now, right? And for me, like I always saw a difference, even like with my parents. It's so weird. Like when she explained me, example, my mom, she explained me something, I'm like, or yeah, let's say like she explained something but that I don't understand, and I'm like, it's weird, I just don't understand what she's talking about. And then after that, like when I realized like, okay, she was trying to tell me that like this, after that I understand that, I was like, I'm always like, why haven't you explained it to me like that so I could understand it? So that's something with teaching that I really like, is that I feel like I have, let's say, the grace to actually explain things in a way that everyone can actually understand. And that's the reason why I prefer to actually scale with my teaching business, or my teaching service, versus my editing service, because I have more connection and I love more teaching versus like just editing for clients. Or even like if I scale that thing, I'm not gonna be editing anymore, because I'll have editors like taking care of that. So that's the main thing that I go through. I think I've talked about everything when it comes to the scaling. What can I add? Yeah, the first thing that I want to add, that's something that I've learned from talking to a lot of editors, is that there's one thing that make an editor successful and the other one not successful. The first thing that you really need to have, that it's a must, honestly, I'll probably say, it's actually believing that it's possible. You see, I've talked to like thousands of editors. Like, I know it sounds weird to say, but like I've actually talked to thousands of editors. Like, it's crazy. I do crazy stuff. And the main problem, or like the main mistake that I see a lot of editors who want to make 10 grand, who want to make 15 grand, 20 grand, no matter what the level is, they they really struggle to believe that it's possible. And that's something that I want to tell you watching this video, because if you've been watching this video like this far, you actually have enough belief to believe that it's possible. Like you have the ability to reach that point. Like it's possible. Because if you don't believe that it's possible, it's like you're stopping yourself from achieving that. It's like you're limiting yourself, not just in a way that, okay, like maybe I was supposed to make 10K or 20K, but I'm just making 5K or 15. No, you're gonna just cut your potential because you don't believe it's possible. That's why for me, I always believed that it was possible before even I do it or before I did it, because it's like the level one, right? What's like, what proof of like I have the belief that I share with you that it was possible. In my case, it was like my content, right? I've always documented my journey from the where I started my content acquisition journey until now. I mean, technically I haven't posted for a while, but you get the point. Like when you believe something, you really need to realize that you believe it. In my case, it was easy to say that, okay, I believe that I'm gonna make 10 grand. I believe that I'm gonna make 15K, but like prove it to me actually. Yeah, and in my case it was through content, and it was hard for me honestly because I'm someone like I'm usually someone quiet, so like I don't really go out, I don't go to party, I don't, the only time that I'm out is for the gym or for the gym. So most of the time I'm just at home working on my goals because like that's me, like that's like the way that I just live, and that's something that's really connect to my person. But I know that I will have to change that in the future because now I need to, you know, level up everything. So yeah, honestly, like I've give you everything that you need in order to actually get to that position when it comes to clients. You all you need, honestly, like I want to really be straight with you. Like all you need, it's not crazy stuff. Like it's not that deep because when you start, like everything is, it's like you're in a dark room, right? And then you're trying to figure out things. But when you realize that you just have like one goal, no matter what the goal is, whether if you want to make 10K, you want to make 20K, 50K, 100K, like you have your current situation or like your, you know, where you are right now, and then your desired outcome, and your goal is to actually figure out, because you don't know like the clear path to get there. Everything is dark around you, right? And you're like really you're like 50-50, you're really going slowly. But honestly, in my case, I really want to make sure that you understand this. You don't need crazy stuff in order to become successful with that business. You just need, honestly, the belief first, the consistency to actually keep working even if it's not working. I mean, like let's say example, you're failing, you're losing clients, you're losing money, you're doing all these things, but like you're still there, you're still up. That's something about me that's no one cannot really take out of me, is that no matter what's gonna happen, I'm gonna still be working. And that's the mentality that you need to have. It's not just, okay, yes, I believe it's gonna happen, but like, are you actually working like you believe? You need to work like you believe it's gonna happen. In my case, I was always consistent with like the 50 DMs example with my content. Okay, but of course I've missed a few days, but you get the point. You really want to make sure that you are always, you believe that it's possible, and then you always be consistent into working towards what you want. And you try, you fail, you try, you fail, you try, you fail, you try, you fail. That's like the main thing, or like the main way to get there. But honestly, if you want to take a shortcut, that's actually what I do right now. If you really want to, like, instead of like skipping that part of like trying, failing, trying, failing, trying, failing, and you really want to have like a proven system like the one that I use, what I did actually is that you see the system that I built, my client acquisition system, to actually get 5K per month clients on demand, the system that I was able to spam. If you want to have access to like a part of it, so what I'm doing right now is that I'm giving like the first document out of 10 documents. I've just break down the strategy into like 10 documents, and like that's actually what I'm actually offering. And if you want like one of these document, you see the one that break down the strategy, just go on my Instagram. The link is in bio or in my description. Just go on Instagram and DM me the keyword. I think it's like ready or something like that, and I'm gonna actually just send you one of the documents that break down a part. I think the part of the client acquisition system is the offer. Yeah, so I have made like 10 documents that break down my entire strategy, like I told you. And the first one is about like creating your high ticket offer, everything that you need to know about that. And I'm actually giving it for free so you guys can actually start to understand that, how to do it, how to do things, so you can actually start having high ticket offer that makes sense. And every list that you get or every people that you reach out to, your goal is to just offer that solution that you are offering. Yeah, to solve that problem, right? Because a lot of editors are like really talented and they have like a lot of talent. Sometimes I'm even shocked, honestly. Like a lot of you guys are like so good with editing, I'm like, bro, this guy is making like at least 10K. And I'm talking to that person and he's making only 1,000, only 2,000. I'm like, yo, like you can do so much. Because in my case, I was editing on CapCut. I wasn't like the best editor in the world, right? But I still was able to do it. So honestly, I think I've talked about everything. If you have any question or you're like struggling with something, you can just drop a comment here, or you can just go on Instagram again, like I told you, to actually just ask me a question. I'm really active on the DMs because that's actually the place where I'm actually working. So yeah, like I told you again, if you want to have like the document that break down how to create your get offers so you can actually get high paying client at 5K per month, just go on my Instagram and actually just DM me the word. I think you're ready, and I'm gonna actually give you everything for free, and let's start working actually. So that's it for me, guys. See you on the next video tomorrow. Because yes, I'm actually starting to be more consistent here on this channel. So every single day I'm gonna be posting like a video breaking down different part of the business. So if you want to actually have access to this video, or just you want to be active here, just drop a follow. And yeah, again, that's it. Ciao.